Hey everyone, Jeff Belknap along with Logan Stupin. We're here today with Dirt Bike Test, testing out the 2023 RM-Z250. This bike hasn't really changed a whole lot since 2019, kind of been the same platform, but we felt that this bike needs to get a fair shake. Today was one of those days where we brought myself, who's a vet rider, and also Logan, who is a novice rider. So we'll dive into this. First thing is the ergonomics on this bike. I felt getting on this bike was so comfortable. You felt at home, like as soon as you were on it. How'd you feel about that?
Yeah, the ergonomics of this bike just felt really nice and comfortable, really easy to ride from the seat all the way to the handlebars. Stock was just really comfortable.
I kind of felt like it felt like a Honda a little bit, which I personally own, and you coming off of a YZ125, your bike of choice. So introducing yourself to a four-stroke, I feel like it was one of the better bikes to do this on.
Yeah, absolutely an easy intro bike just to get into four-strokes and all that power.
Right. So moving on to the suspension, pleasantly surprised for a heavier guy, this bike was sprung really heavy. Spring rate was really high. We played with a few adjusters and got it working really good for myself. Logan, I know we probably on the stiff side for you, but we made some clickers. Where did you feel it's lined up?
Yeah, not bad. It did feel a little bit heavy in the corners, kind of just a little bit sluggish.
Right.
But as soon as we kind of changed that rebound up, it picked up and it felt really comfortable laying over in the corners. Yeah,
that's one thing we did play with sag a little bit. So it kind of just going to be more towards your rider ability and weight, what you feel is right. I think we landed somewhere around 106 to 108 millimeters of sag. Made a couple clickers in the front. We ended up slowing the rebound down a little bit and softening the spring up a little bit. So that made a big difference for yourself, I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Moving on to the motor. The thing is really responsive, I think, on the low end, and then it flattens out a little bit in the mid, and then it picks back up on the higher revs. So I felt like you couldn't really lug the bike around the corners as much as other models, but where were you with that?
Yeah, honestly, that top end really felt good. You could really stretch it out really far, but like you said, that bottom end was really boggy. It needed a lot of clutch to get it
right
out.
And I think once we kind of solved that diving thing for you, that allowed you to kind of carry a little more speed through the bike and ride it in a higher gear through it. So I think we kind of achieved it on that. The bike seemed really stable. Like it didn't do anything weird, it didn't do anything twitchy. I felt like, right at home on it, and I felt like it really did a good job through some of that tight, rough stuff. And today at Glen Helen, people that ride Glen Helen, you know how it is. And there was a lot of good lines out there, but it was a traditional rough afternoon out here. So for me, I felt really stable on the bike at low speed and at a higher speed.
Yeah, it felt comfortable and glued to the ground. It felt like it didn't skip anywhere, didn't do anything crazy or nothing.
Yeah, stay planted at the end of the day. So I mean, for you coming off of your YZ125 stability, and did the bike feel heavy to you, like kind of picking your lines a little bit?
A little bit sluggish, but maybe that's the lack of talent. But yeah, just definitely sluggish, but still able to get out of the corners. Still everything does good, and glued to the ground, nothing scary.
Right. No, I couldn't agree more. Tire selection, on Dunlops, can't really go wrong with that. All right, so we all know there's one big drawback on the Suzuki, and that is no e-start. So a lot of people put that down, but at the end of the day, we all came from kickstarting a bike. Your current bike, you kickstart, right?
Yeah, 05 125, one of the best bikes on the market, has a Kickstarter. It's not that hard, it's around the same thing.
I mean, if you're in shape to ride a dirt bike, you got enough strength to kick over the starter,
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
So, and one of the things though, guys, without having the e-start, two things, if you really look around at depending on what part of the country you're in, Suzuki has some pretty good deals going on right now. Their MSRP is quite a bit cheaper than some of the other brands out there, so I would look into it. And they have their RM Army program, where when you buy a bike, I believe it's somewhere around an additional $700, you get a pipe and you get some graphics with it. So take a look at it and see if that's something you're into. Once again, this video is more generated for us vet riders and novice rider. We'll have some more videos coming soon up for you pro level guys, so you get kind of a feel on that. So after today, our first impression, I think we got a really good base off of this bike. Pretty happy with it. For us, we are going to go into an off-road line with it, race some of the West Coast GP series. We're going to attack it with some of the RM Army graphics and their exhaust, and kind of play around with the coupler a little bit, which we didn't get a chance today to do. So we kind of left out the stock coupler, one thing I did leave out. So look forward to that. Like I said, we have some good plans with this bike. We will be using it. We'll have some better videos coming. Thank you to Suzuki for allowing us to do this. Really looking forward to it, and should be a good year on it.